Hello. I think it's time to start our conference, which is devoted to promoting EMBO, EMBL, EMBC activities in Poland. And I'd like to ask Professor Piotr Stepnowski, Vice Rector for Research and Foreign Cooperation of our university, to open this conference.
Thank you, Krzysztof. Thank you very much for your absolutely wonderful efforts to organize this very meeting. Yes, I would like to open officially this very meeting. As you know, the official part is not so official because we are here to listen what are the particular chances, opportunities within EMBO, EMBL, and all the related issues for young researchers. And we are very happy that within our university we already have a very spectacular experience and successes in this field, and we hope to promote it more. This is a very good moment to convey to you very best wishes from our rector, Professor Piotr Gwizdała, who wish you, of course, all the fruitful discussion and wonderful time spent here. But I would also like to reflect to a very special year we just entered in, which is a jubilee year. Actually, next March 2020, we will celebrate our 50th birthday as a university. So we are a young one, very young one, and a very open one, and very normal one. University, however, we reflect always to long standing traditions of academic institutions here in Gdańsk. Due to this anniversary, we decided to issue a special anniversary beer. Because, you know, Gdańsk is a brewery city, and what would be the 50th birthday without the special beer, which is called Mrągowiusz. Mrągowiusz is our patron of the best academic teacher at the university, and the name of the beer is Mrągowiusz as well, and we decided also to pass to Krzysztof. I hope he will share with you some bottles that will be available for you. I wish you all the best and only good discussions. Have a good time here. Thank you.
Thank you, Piotr. Now I'd like to ask Mr. Juliusz Szymczak-Gałkowski, the Director of the Department of International Cooperation of our ministry, to say a few words. Please.
Thank you. I will be a little bit more official. Sorry. In my first words, I want to apologize for the absence of the Secretary of State, Professor Stanisławek. Unfortunately, he has to spend time in Warsaw today. He has another duty, but he asked me to participate in the official start of this meeting. And he sent to all the participants the letter. The letter was given to the hand of the authorities of the university, but please give me some time to read this letter to all participants of this meeting. Warsaw, 12th June this year. Representatives of the European Molecular Biology Organization, the European Molecular Biology Laboratory, authorities of the University of Gdańsk, and the Medical University of Gdańsk, researchers and students. Ladies and gentlemen, participants of a promotional event on international cooperation in molecular biology. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you attending this meeting on promoting international cooperation in molecular biology in the Intercollegiate Faculty of Biotechnology of the University of Gdańsk and the Medical University of Gdańsk. Let me thank the authorities of the faculty and to the university for hosting the event. Much to my regret, I'm unable to be together with you in Gdańsk. Nevertheless, I would like to assure you of my great interest in this event. Mr. Stanisławek is a professor of medicine, which is key for developing international collaboration within the framework of European Molecular Biology Laboratory, European Molecular Biology Organization, and European Molecular Biology Conference. Poland, being a relatively mature party of the EMBC and the very fresh member of the EMBL, has an ambition to network more intensely with the partners, institutions, and influence more actively both on the conference and the laboratory agendas. This meeting is addressed in particular to young scientists, doctoral and graduate students in the field of biology. Moreover, it may be of interest to individuals active on other research disciplines that they either cooperate with support biology, for example, medicine, agriculture, physics, chemistry, etc., etc. For the first time, this kind of event is organized in Poland on such a scale with the participation of the speakers from the EMBL and EMBO, as well as the former Polish fellows of Ambo, postdocs, and the EMBL predocs and postdocs. Thank you for coming to Gdańsk. The goal of this event is to present a wide spectrum of cooperation mechanisms within the EMBC, EMBO, and EMBL. These are the most prestigious organizations in the field of a broadly understood molecular biology in Europe. I'm sure that today's meeting will not only allow you to learn more about the programs in place, but it will also let you gain insight into to learn more about the programs in place. But it will also let you gain insight into practical experiences, career development, and perspectives of young scientists. I do hope that this exchange will contribute to increasing the volume of applications and their success rate. I'm convinced that Poland's potential of cooperation within leading molecular biology organizations in Europe is much greater than our present results. Talking about the potential of the Polish science, I would like to mention recent reformatory measures implemented as constitutional for science in Poland. Our challenges are numerous. We faced, among others, overcomplicated regulations limiting the autonomy of universities, unsatisfactory visibility of outcomes of research carried out in the Polish institution, as well as concerns regarding the quality and relevance of study programs and the efficiency of doctoral training. The reform was preceded by an extensive process of dialogue with the stakeholders. The authentic participation of the academic community in designing the new law was a fundamental principle of the reform. We wanted to create a feeling of ownership of the reform among academia. We realized that without this key element we would have failed. The new law aims at giving the universities more freedom, increasing the impact of research performed in Polish institutions on the global science, as well as it improving the quality of education for students and of doctoral training. For example, we believe that the new framework for institutional evaluation of research performed in Poland will be a key driver to improve international visibility of Polish institutions. The role of the evaluations in the system is significant. Its outcomes have an impact of funding and on universities' powers related to scientific degrees conferred. The new framework shifts of emphasis on quality and supports scientific excellence, understood as participation in the global academic discourse. It rewards the quality and international impact of research instead of the quantity of publications. The new evaluation model is a very strong incentive for research to make an effort to publish articles of journal with the highest impact rate, which are extended in leading international bibliographic databases. Another example of increasing significance of the quality is the Excellence Initiative Research University program, launched recently. It aims at selecting of a group leading Polish institutions with the potential to become research-intensive universities performing world-class research and top-level research-based education. The program aims at selecting up to 10 universities which would receive additional funding for a period of 7 years equal to the 10% of regular subsidy for the public budget. The reform would be hard to implement it if sufficient funding is not be secured. Significant increase of funding pegged to GDP growth was eventually laid down with a new law on higher education and science. Summing up, I believe that we are moving towards a truly competitive research community in Poland that will constitute an important element of the European and global R&D system. Combining this with today increased effort to promote cooperation opportunities with the EMBL, EMBO, and EMBC. I hope the new generation of Poland's talented researchers and doctoral students will contribute to the potential of these organizations. As an oncologist and a scientist with some international experience, I would like to emphasize that molecular biology is fundamental to many fields, including medicine. Without international and interdisciplinary cooperation, scientific achievements will not happen. Today's event is taking place in Gdańsk, which is a very special place on the map of Poland and Europe, a city where the historic changes were initiated some 40 years ago. So let me also express a wish that refers to Gdańsk in particular and other Polish cities to follow your example. I wish that in the coming years, your research community will start another change, this time in science, in molecular biology, and related disciplines. I wish you successful discussions and many opportunities for cooperations. Your faithfully, Andrzej Stanisławek, Secretary of State, Minister of Science and Higher Education. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gałkowski. And now I would like to ask Professor Igor Konieczny, Dean of our faculty, to present the potential of Gdańsk in bioscience.
Welcome at the Intercollegiate Faculty of Biotechnology. And as Krzysztof mentioned, I was asked to say a few words about the faculty and Gdańsk as a place. Actually, at the end I will talk more about the place where we are, Intercollegiate Faculty of Biotechnology, which is a part of two institutions, University of Gdańsk and the Medical University of Gdańsk. We are very unique in this because there is no other institution like that in Poland, and we think that also it's not very common abroad. But I will talk at the beginning about the molecular biology, and we'll start with three distinctive professors, Professor Karol Taylor, Professor Anna Podhajska, and Professor Wacław Szybalski. Those two gentlemen we consider them as the fathers of our faculty, and Professor Karol Taylor, as well as Professor Szybalski, is also considered as a father or fathers of molecular biology in Gdańsk. And the establishing of our faculty was initiative of Professor Podhajska, strongly supported by Professor Taylor and Professor Szybalski. So I dig in old papers, and this is a paper published in 1967 by Wacław Szybalski and by Karol Taylor as the first author. And this was done in Carl Laboratory, University of Wisconsin in Madison. And actually this is the paper published in Proceedings National Academy of Science showing asymmetric distribution of transcribing regions of the complementary strands of coliphage lambda DNA. And one of the conclusions of this paper, which I'm marking here, was that for DNA which contains DC-rich clusters on both strands, as for instance coliphage lambda DNA, this hypothesis predicts that transcribing regions would be found on both strands. So it was very fundamental, showing that both strands can act as can provide an information for transcription. And in 1967, it was not that obvious what strands provide information for transcription. I think that most likely this is one of the first, if not first, paper published by the Polish authors on the molecular biology, at least the first in Gdańsk. And as Professor Stepnowski said, we have 50th anniversary of establishing of the University of Gdańsk, so this was published even earlier. And later on, Professor Carol Tyler set the first laboratory of molecular biology at the university, that time in Gdynia. Today, molecular biology is actually conducted in the 3 universities, University of Gdańsk, Technical University of Gdańsk, Polytechnics, and the Medical University of Gdańsk, at the different faculties, Faculty of Biology, Faculty of Chemistry, partially in Faculty of Oceanography and Geography, and Intercollegiate Faculty of Biotechnology, Faculty of Chemistry. There are several groups doing molecular biology over there, and the Faculty of Medicine, Pharmacy, and Health and Science, and Intercollegiate Faculty, because these 2 faculties, actually this is the same faculty. I would also stress that this is not only faculties which are involved in the molecular biology, this is also international research agenda on both Medical University and University, and the Translational Medicine Center and Biobank in the Medical University. Also, we have a pretty good support and surrounding from other institutions. Actually, in Pomeranian Smart Specialization, it was specified the medical technologies in disease of aging and civilization diseases as a specialization in Pomeranian region, and very many business enterprises involving also the major pharmaceutical player Polpharma and Biovico, Blirt, Viva Dental, and many others are, at least to some extent, are doing molecular biology. A few words about the international research agendas, which are founded by the Polish Science Foundation for Polish Science. So at the University of Gdańsk, there is International Center for Cancer Vaccine Science, which is also very unique in Poland because actually entire staff comes from abroad. And this is a strong collaboration with the University of Edinburgh, and Professor Theodor Happ and Robin Farros are leading this interdisciplinary research to improve human health by establishing discovery science programs focused on the immune cancer synapse. So actually the concept of this center is just to create anti-cancer vaccines. And at the Medical University International Research Agenda 3P, Medicine Laboratory, Preventive, Personalized and Precision, with Professor Domański and Piotrowski. And the topic is mutations which are acquired during the lifetime that lead to increased risk of a human disease and focus on cancer. Okay. So now a few words about our faculty. As I said, it's an intercollegiate, and this is our advisory board. And I would like to stress that we have 2 EMBO members who actually advise us in our strategy to improve the quality in science. We are part of a university, so we have to teach. It's not like a pure research institution. We have to kind of have a broad spectrum of our expertise, but there is some specificity, and this specificity is interdisciplinary research and teaching by combining biomedical and biomolecular issues and their applications in biotechnology for health and life quality. So as you see, there is a molecular microbiology, molecular plant research, and medical biology and molecular diagnostics. So in which three parts of our research we have molecular word incorporated, and this is a perfect overlap because we use molecular techniques to conduct our research. This is actually very hard to say, and I placed this slide just to say only a few words and what is our specialty, and actually these are the projects which are ongoing or are conducted for years. So some of them are connected, and this is actually original, very early research which was conducted at the faculty, connected with molecular chaperones and proteases, and small heat shock proteins, aggregation, disaggregation, and the protein structure, also sulfur cluster at enzymes, proteases and their structure and role in microorganisms. Part of our research is connected with viruses, and currently there is a project ongoing on Zika virus. Part of our activities are plant research, and we specifically are concentrated of plant pathogens, and actually the molecular methods to detect plant pathogens is especially important due to the climate change. Structural biology, some groups are doing this, and more medical oriented projects, allergies and pathogens, and also cancer research from bench to the bedside, and some therapies, including photodynamic therapy, to use for microbes infected human beings. This is the top project which is currently ongoing. So you see very many different projects. However, the molecular biology is on a scope of each of this. So currently, Intercollegiate faculty is 17 research group. We are going to extend this number to more than 20. We have one EMBO member, Professor Liberek, one former EMBO IP, and one EMBO installation grant. Another application is ongoing, in progress. We hope to get the other installation grant in this institution. I should say two EMBO, because Professor Zilic, who was part of our faculty for years, is also an EMBO member, but currently is a honorary doctor of our university, yes indeed. So we have approximately 100 employees, and 82 is staff, and approximately 300 students, and approximately 80 PhD in a PhD program. This is our budget in 2018, and you can see that the green part is a statutory budget and subvention. So we have much more than half which comes from grants. And this is mainly from National Science Center, from Ministry of Science and Higher Education, a few, Horizon 2020, and the National Science for Research and Development, and 15% from EU, also this is from EU, but this is just operated by Foundation for Polish Science. So this is our budget. So without grants, we would collapse right now. So this is just critical point for the faculty. And this is just the budget from 2014 to 2018. You can see that we reach, actually it's going to be almost 25 million zlotys per year, when the majority of this comes from grant. And this is our structure. So part of faculty staff is employed from grant money, and only part is employed by both universities, which we conduct also the teaching. So this is important to have a secure position for teaching as well. This is the Q1 is the best. I always don't know. Yes, okay, so these are our publications, because I had a slide which was other way around, and it looks like we published really not good. But so this is from 2013 and 2018, and you can see that there is a decrease of a publication from Q4, 3 and 2, and increase the publication, number of publication from Q1. So basically, approximately half of our publications are published in the high-ranked journals. And this is the last evaluation from the Ministry of Science. We received A+. Actually, I should say that all faculties from the medical university are A, and 2 of them are A+. We are A+, so we got the higher score, and we got the highest outcome quality of research achievements, rank 1, and also highest achievements in research development, because some of our projects are connected strictly with business as well, like vaccines and other stuff. Okay, we also have distinctive titles due to the high quality of teaching and certificates from Ministry of Science for the best teaching system, I'd say. Yes. 2 years ago, we moved to this new facility, and we have core facilities in this building for biomolecular analysis, genetics, bioinformatics cluster, biosafety level 3 laboratories, which is unique, light microscopy, mass spectrometry, phytotron for plant growing, and we would like to develop also the laboratory for structural biology. And these are equipment which we recently, or maybe not very recently, achieved. We learned a few days ago that we would increase the potential of atomic force microscopy, because we just received funds for buying another piece that would allow us doing fast scan and intermolecular analysis of molecules with using this technology. Also, I would like to say that there is this year we launched a new thing, which is Intercollegiate Biotechnology Doctoral School of University of Gdańsk and Medical University of Gdańsk. It's a long name, IBDS, but the important thing that this is the school which would provide the opportunity for students to get their PhD in 2 disciplines, in medical sciences and biological sciences. So it's going to be very unique environment supported by the 2 institutions. And this year we are recruiting 24 PhD students. Also, we are conducting a project in Star Bios to responsible research and innovation at the EFB, which we start to spread the information about our research to the society, which is very important. This is the project which is supported from Horizon 2020. Also, I would like to advertise the Biotechnology Summer Schools. This is 5 years that we organize the Biotechnology Summer Schools. This year it's going to be on the topic Translational Medicine. And very interesting speakers. The Biotechnology Summer Schools are organized by us, but we are not talking during those schools. So all the teachers coming on the schools and speakers are from abroad. And this is the web page you can find. And this is just us. So I would like to finish on that. I would just encourage you to visit our web page and for collaboration. And I wish that we will have more connections with EMBL and Ambo, and successfully can get benefit from this organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Igor. And now let's move from Gdansk to EMBO activities. And our first speaker is Professor Leszek Kaczmarek. And Professor Kaczmarek is a Polish delegate to EMBO, EMBL, EMBC. And he is also an EMBO member. And he will give us a short introductory presentation of activities of these organizations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the invitation. I think it's a great idea, I will put it here, to have this meeting. And I hope that you will enjoy and learn something and maybe find something useful. I need something to control over the slides. Okay, so the idea was, this was the presentation that we done together with Maria Klimkiewicz from the ministry, because the idea is to explain what these different 3 EMBs mean. Okay, some people kind of mix them. So, European Molecular Biology. The first was the organization founded in '64, and this was organization of the leading molecular biology scientists who wanted to create in Europe an environment that would be, at that time, at least as good as in the US, and promoting this environment. And then those giants managed to gather financial support from the member states. So EMBO is the organization of the people that is composed like the Academy of Sciences. The EMBO members elect new EMBO members and so on, supervised by the Council. But then EMBC, which is European Molecular Biology Conference, is a member state organizations that countries subscribe to this system, delegate 2 people, usually one is from scientific community, one is from the science administration, that in a way supervise the activities that EMBO performs, but also finance to a great extent this activity. Each country will pay a certain share. And this was '69, so you can see actually in less than 2 weeks we have a big celebration in Heidelberg, where are the headquarters of EMBO, because it will be 50 years anniversary of EMBC. And then, soon after, 5 years later, the EMBO community proposed that it would be nice to create a research space, the laboratory, and this is European Molecular Biology Laboratory. So we have organization of people, of scientists. We have the organization with delegates of the countries, and we have the research laboratory. Poland joined EMBC in 1999, started to pay its share, but this also allowed Poland to participate as a full member in all these activities, including for Polish scientists to become the EMBO members, because you have to be the member state in order that your scientists residing in this country, it's not nationality that counts, residing in this country, could be elected to EMBO. EMBO may elect also people from other countries, and actually, as it happens, a couple of days ago, Joanna Wysocka, who is Polish national, got elected, but from the US, from Stanford. Now we have 14 members out of this something like 1,800, because these 2 new members, this was announced just a couple of days ago, Andrzej Dziebowski, Marcin Nowotny. The first has been already mentioned. So the first elected in '99 was Maciej Żylicz, due to his research credential accumulated here in Gdańsk. We have also Krzysztof Liberek, who is our host and leader of this meeting, who is the member. And I also put in bold 2 names of Agnieszka Hacińska and Magda Konarska, because they are very critical for our today meeting, at least first half. Because Agnieszka and Magda are the members of the long-term fellowship committee. So those are the people who know now the best how to get the EMBO long-term fellowship. Okay, EMBC contributes money. Every country pays certain amount of money, a share that is calculated according to the GDP, to the gross domestic product of the country. Okay? So altogether, the budget that comes 2019 is almost 22 million euro, with Polish contribution like something like €500,000. Most of this budget is spent on the activities, over 14 million. So this is the very core of the EMBO activities. These are the long-term fellowships. There is roughly like 175 of them a year. They are distributed in 2 rounds. There's a special committee that decides about this. They are pretty competitive. I don't know. It used to be like 18% or something, the success rate. So now it's 14 even, you know. Then there are short-term fellowships. This is like something 1.7 million. The success rate is like 50% or sometimes even bigger. They're up to 3 months. They could be to the EMBC countries or from the EMBC countries. So they come from different places. I had, for example, a person from Brazil to come to my lab on these fellowships. And this success rate is, I say, 50%, so it's much, much more accessible, very, very useful. And also, important component of the budget are courses and workshops. Over 2 million euro is spent, and there's also plenty of Polish participants over there. Then there's another involvement, Polish involvement into the EMBO EMBC activities, which are so-called installation grants. This is a special system that is supposed to aid in developing molecular biology in the member states by providing money to people who come to become group leaders within 2 years since they joined the countries. There are several countries participating in the system, some from our region, but also Turkey and Portugal. And Polish budget from the ministry pays 50,000 euro a year grant. This is up to 5 years. Presently, we have like 10 grantees, so it's like €500,000 is also given to the system, and Michał is a proud recipient of this. And if you want to know, you will hear more about the EMBC activity, whatever, EMBO activities and EMBC. There's a very nice booklet available on the website, which is called Facts and Figures, and it lists all those different activities. So if someone wants to understand what is EMBO all about, you can read this. I would just mention 2 more things. So we have, EMBO has the very important publishing house, and it publishes 4 very prestigious journals. You know, EMBO journals, EMBO reports, molecular system biology, and EMBO molecular medicine. This is like self-sustained. The cost is like 2.5 million, and the income is about 2.5 million. And also, what is very prestigious about EMBO is the Young Investigator program. This is also through competition. Many people are applying, they are selected. And this is what is probably the most important thing about the EMBO to say is networking. EMBO is organization of networking. Invests and understands networking. People who are members of EMBO, they may meet, but also the former fellows, the Young Investigator program, they are very much into networking, and they create this special community, especially all over Europe, but not only. EMBL is a laboratory. EMBL, its headquarters are in Heidelberg, as originally started, but now there are also 5 other units, previously called outstations of EMBL, and these are laboratories. There's something like 70-something laboratories altogether. The most recent addition is Barcelona, a Center for Genomic Regulation, CRG, but there's Grenoble, we have a representative here. There's Hamburg, those are 2 more both into structural biology. Kingston, which is European Bioinformatics Institute, that is operated together with the Wellcome Trust. And Rome, and in fact actually Monterotondo near Rome. Those are the places where there are laboratories of EMBL. Altogether, so we have, you can see also the structure which says what are the activities. So there are those laboratories, there are our stations, but there's also what is very specific about EMBL important. EMBL puts a lot of emphasis on training, not only doctoral training, but also postdoctoral training, which is kind of unique for us, special thing. But also EMBL is a champion in technology transfer. It's very important for EMBL to have this technology transfer, and this could be sometimes very successful. Suffice to say, our lab is just considering to buy a light sheet microscopy, and very much one of the two companies we can consider is actually Luxendo, that the technology was developed at EMBL and was sold to Bruker. So we will be negotiating maybe with Bruker with the terms of trade with tender. By the way, I did mention before what I said, that is important, that also EMBL is very much proud that on its ground 2 Nobel Prizes were really developed, including recently for cryo-electron microscopy. I found this budget 2017 in a nice diagram, so I'm showing it roughly what is important. So the budget is, EMBL altogether is maybe 2,500 people, something like this in all those places. The budget is close to 250 million euro. And what is important, that the most important component of the budget is this member state contribution. Okay? And there is also internal tax, because EMBL is international organization. You know, we joined EMBL just very recently this year. I was sort of involved in this process, so I can see how complicated it is. It's like joining United Nations. It is government, it is parliament, it is president to sign the bill, then the foreign ministry back, then the president to ratify international bill, to submit to Switzerland, where all this information is gathered, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, because of this, there is international organization, so they are excluded from the local laws, including taxes, so they have to pay taxes locally. So this is also a revenue for EMBL. But what is also very important, so out of this budget, this is the Polish contribution, which is discounted at the very beginning and will grow somehow over the years. And what is also important and shows something which is the philosophy of EMBL, which will be, I'm sure, mentioned here. EMBL and Ambo share something, that the jobs are not permanent. In principle, almost everyone, not exactly, there are some exceptions, people are coming up to 9 years. And if there's a group leader hired for 9 years, Ian Mataj, who used to be the Director General of Ambo, whose father was Polish actually, Ian was saying that, you know, if we hire the people, okay, for 9 years, we don't allow them to spend time on grant writing. They can do, they have a number of ERC grants or whatever, but it's not the most important. We expect for young group leaders to be active in research, okay? They are only for 9 years. How much you can do for 9 years? Few papers, yes? Okay. So now to finish, I am speaking on behalf of Maria and myself because we are representatives to the EMBL, to EMBC, and this way we are somehow supervisors. And there are the website, very easy to remember if you can get much more information. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Leszek. Now, I would like to ask Dr. Bettina Traub. She is a senior project coordinator at Ambo, and she will give us more details about Ambo. So, Bettina.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. I think this is a really exciting event. Very pleased to be here. I've already been introduced. I'm Bettina Traub, Senior Project Coordinator in the Director's Office at Ambo. And I'll move on a little bit from what Professor Kaczmarek has already explained to you and tell you a little bit more detail about what Ambo is, what we do, and the programs that we have, and how you can become involved. So, as was already mentioned, Ambo is really a community organization. We have sort of an academy arm where the Ambo members are elected by the other Ambo members. That's now about 1,800 leading life scientists from across Europe, but also outside of Europe. And our activities arm is sort of the bit where we try to help and create a research environment for the life sciences where scientists can really do their best work. We also have a science policy program that I won't talk too much about today, but it's very interesting because what we do there is we take up the concerns of the academic community about things like emerging technologies, ethical considerations, now the whole transition to open science, and we analyze them and we make suggestions and offer options to policymakers on how to implement them so that they will actually be helpful to the scientific community. Leszek already mentioned the EMBC, so I won't spend too much time on that, just to say that in total we have at the moment 30 European member states, and we also have 4 associate member states or cooperation partners outside of Europe. Our 2 associate member states are India and Singapore, and our 2 cooperation partners are the Ministry of Science and Technology of Taiwan and the Chilean Research Council. So Singaporean, Indian, Taiwanese and Chilean scientists can also participate in our programs. As was also mentioned, we're very excited to celebrate just in 2 weeks' time the 50th anniversary of the EMBC. And basically EMBC is the body that funds our core programs. A couple of words about the EMBO members. As was already mentioned before, there are about 1,800 of them at the moment. They're elected by annual peer elections. And through the EMBO Council, which is a subset of 16 EMBO members, they really help determine our activities and determine what EMBO should be doing and what we should spend the funding that we get from EMBC on. They provide expertise to the scientists supported by EMBO through serving on committees. So, for instance, when it comes to selecting new long-term fellows, EMBO members serve on the fellowship committee and help us with the selection process. 14 EMBO members are currently working in Poland, and 2 have been just recently elected, as was mentioned before. Andrzej Dziambowski and Marcin Nowotny, both from Warsaw, and we're of course especially pleased to have a resident EMBO member here in Gdansk, Professor Liberek. So it's great to have him here today as well. Right, now on to the programs. As Professor Kaczmarek said, the EMBO long-term fellowships are our largest program. They offer funding for up to 2 years to postdoctoral researchers to carry out research in a laboratory in another EMBC member state or in the United States or in one of our associate member states. At the moment, there are stipends, but with the new selection round that will open in the autumn this year, we're transitioning them to working contracts. This responds to the increasing need in EMBC member countries to provide postdoctoral fellows with a taxable contract that also carries social security benefits. So we'll be doing that, and actually David Del Alamo, who is the head of the Fellowships program, will be joining us by video conference, and he can tell you more about this process and what it entails later on if you've got questions about that. The reason why he can't be here today, by the way, is this networking aspect of EMBO, and it's that we actually have the EMBO Fellows meeting right now in Heidelberg. So we have I think about 100 current EMBO Fellows in Heidelberg at this very moment, and they're interacting, presenting their science, getting to know each other, starting new collaborations. So this is a really nice aspect of the EMBO long-term fellowship program. And Through the fellowship program, you can also get lab leadership training, and it carries a host of other benefits, like if you have children, you'll get a childcare allowance. You receive a contribution towards your relocation costs because you have to move abroad. You can't take the EMBO long-term fellowship in the country where you did your PhD. It requires you to go somewhere else, spend a couple of years there, get more experience. And we also do research integrity training for our EMBO fellows. We have the application system open all year round, but there are two important deadlines, which are the second Friday in August. So if you're considering to still apply this year, you can, but you have to be quick. And then again, the second Friday of February each year is when we close the selection for the next fellowship committee meeting. So the committee meets twice per year to select new EMBO fellows. And that's why we have those two sort of cutoff dates for applicants to be considered in each round. As I said before, David will be joining us later, so if you have detailed questions about what you have to do to get an EMBO long-term fellowship, you can ask him. If you've held an EMBO long-term fellowship, you can also apply for an advanced fellowship. This is a very small program. We offer only 5 a year. But it basically extends the EMBO fellowship by up to another 2 years. You continue working in the host lab. You can convert some of the money from the advanced fellowship into a startup grant if during that time you become independent as a group leader. And yeah, basically it's a nice little addition to the EMBO LTF program. Now I want to talk quickly about a program that I think is really, really nice. It's the short-term fellowship program. And as was mentioned before, while the EMBO long-term fellowship is very competitive with a success rate of about 14%, this is much more accessible. We have about a 50% success rate here. And this is basically for scientists to go to a lab in a different EMBC country or an associate member states, start a new collaboration, learn a new technique, start something new, and then take it back to your home lab. So the idea is that you learn something that will be useful not just for you, but also for the entire laboratory where you're at. You can stay there from 1 week to up to 3 months. And you can stay even a little bit longer, but without additional funding through the program. So what we cover in the short-term fellowships, again, is subsistence during the time that you spend in your host lab and travel costs. You can apply year-round, and there we don't have any cutoff dates because we do the selection process internally. But basically what we would recommend is about 3 months before the start of your stay, you should apply to the fellowship program. Next up is the Ambo Young Investigator program. This is a program that we have for young PIs who have just started their own lab. And basically there you receive a monetary award that is 15,000 euros, so that's a nice addition to the core funding that you receive from your home institution. But here really the networking component is very important. You join a crowd of really exciting young PIs who are at a similar career stage than you are. They meet once a year in the Young Investigator program meeting. You get lab leadership training, you can apply for small grants. Now they do, since last year, a new thing, which is an annual YIP retreat. So the program members meet there for a week or so, and they get workshops on different issues in science policy, research integrity, new developments in the publication world, and all these things. So this is a really nice program for new lab starters. And you have to apply every year by the 1st of April. Sort of closely tied to the Young Investigator program is the Installation Grants program, which Professor Kaczmarek has also mentioned. It's a program where some of the EMBC member states participate, and it's a little bit different from the Young Investigator program in that there the funding that goes to the Young Investigator comes directly from the country where they are setting up their lab. So if you have installation grant in Poland, your funding will come from the Polish Ministry of Science, and we're very grateful for that. Here are just our 3 newest Polish installation grantees who joined the program in 2018. What happens when you receive an installation grant is you receive 50,000 euros, so that's 50, for your lab, and then you become a member of the Young Investigators Network. So if you're an installation grantee, you also participate in all these activities like the YIP meeting, the YIP retreat. Your PhD students get to go to the PhD courses that the Young Investigator program offers. So this is also very nice, and there again, the networking component is very important. EMBO courses and workshops. We have more than 90 meetings annually that are funded by EMBO, and these are a chance for researchers to really hear from the best scientists in their field. You can present your own science there, of course. You can meet scientists from throughout the world. And it's basically a program where scientists apply with a course idea or a workshop idea to organize something, and again, it's one of our programs where really a lot of people from different countries can participate. You can see here, although you won't be able to read it, the poster for the 2019 courses and workshops, which is also available outside on paper. So if you're interested, you can grab a poster, or you can just look them up on the website. They are really very interesting. And finally, I want to mention the EMBO lab leadership courses. These are not funded by the EMBC, they're self-sustaining. But basically, if you're an EMBO fellow or an EMBO young investigator or an installation grantee, you also get access to those for free. We do training in lab leadership, so if you're a new group leader, this is really useful. Negotiation skills for scientists, project management, portfolio management, really all the things you need in order to set up a successful lab. And again, if you're interested in those, I can point you the right way. I don't want to leave without mentioning our journals. Again, not funded by the EMBC and self-sustaining. We've got 4 journals that we run by ourselves: EMBO Journal, EMBO Reports, EMBO Molecular Medicine, and Molecular Systems Biology. The nice thing about the EMBO Press journals is that they really try and implement new things and incorporate new trends in publishing to make the publishing process as pleasant as possible for the scientist, but also to ensure that the science that we publish is really of the highest quality. You can trace where the data comes from that the scientists used in their paper, and that it's also as accessible as possible. So 2 of our journals are fully open access, and then we have a partner journal that is also fully open access that we founded quite recently, together with 2 American partners, Rockefeller University Press and Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory Press. It's called Life Science Alliance. It's an exciting new initiative, and if you're interested in publishing with the EMBO Press journal family, I'd again encourage you to come and talk to me or contact any of our editors that you can find on our website who can explain you more about how publishing with the EMBO Press journals works. If you've got any questions about any of the programs that we run, you can either ask me now and I'll try to answer as best as I can, or you can write to any of the email addresses up here to the real experts who will be able to help you with specific questions about eligibility, about what you need to apply and all these things. They're all very friendly, very open, and they would love to hear from you. So do contact them. And if you're generally interested about our activities, feel free to give us a follow on Twitter. And yeah, that's really it from my side. Thank you very much. And looking forward to the rest of the day.
Thank you, Bettina, for...
Do we have a question? No.
After
Okay.
the
All right.
David's talk. So thank you, Bettina, for your presentation.